All right, what's going on, guys? Giving you some Waste Management Phoenix Open preview from my local muni. I got the lawnmower behind me, mowing the lawn here at the local municipal in Northern Virginia. So I hope you guys get some insight here. Here's my whole thing about fantasy golf. As I prepare, it's all about getting you insight from the players, right? You want to. Everybody knows about Hideki Matsuyama and the stars at the top of DraftKings, right? DFS. But I want to give you insight on the fringe players, who to look out for this week. And I've got some nuggets after texting a lot of these players. So let's get into it here quickly. I want to preface this by saying that Kevin Streelman, as you guys probably know, has lived in Scottsdale for 20 years. This guy played in mini tour days there, so he knows the golf course. What he's seeing this week, I asked him, had him on the podcast, Beyond the Clubhouse this week. What he's seeing from the course is the greens are rolling really true. There's going to be no fog delays. The warmth is huge this week. It's going to be the warmest it's been in 15 years, so that helps the putters. It's going to be a putting contest. That's what it comes down to. You heard it from Kevin Streelman, a guy that knows that golf course, played it thousands of times. That's where he practices from. So keep that in mind as we talk about these picks. So with that in mind, I'm going to tell you about Jonathan Byrd. Jonathan Byrd is coming off huge momentum. Don't mind the wind here. It's not going to be this windy at Phoenix. But Jonathan Byrd's coming off huge momentum at the Pebble Beach tournament. T9 he had that week. Okay, I guess great numbers, right? But I asked him, what's going on with the swing? What are you feeling confident about? And he said that he's gaining strokes off the tee. That's something he struggled with for, a decade. But it's changed at Pebble. He's had basically a different mindset. He's not looking at his golf swing. We can all relate to this, okay? This is a good nugget for all of us. He's not looking at his golf swing on video anymore, all right? He's choosing not to overthink it, and he's wanted to swing more freely. Now, to gain strokes off the tee, I said, how are you getting strokes? He said, yeah, that's part of it, but also swinging a little harder. And so it's just being in touch with his feel. He said his swing has better feels at the moment. This is all direct quotes from Jonathan Byrd. So it gives you some insight. He's got great value this week, 6,200 on DraftKings. This guy's a steal. Take Jonathan Byrd. If you're not compelled by that, I don't know what else to tell you. He's also a great putter. Streelman said this is the week for putters to come to the top. Tied for 26th in shots gained putting. And around the green, because the greens are so true here at Scottsdale this week, the way they're playing, he's 26 on the year. So this is a steal. Take Jonathan Byrd this week. Unbelievable value. Next player, I want to go to Andrew Putnam. It's so easy to overlook the fact when a player plays in the final group, as he did, amazing momentum. Didn't win at Pebble, I understand that. But he lives at TPC Scottsdale. This is a huge home game for him. He plays out of this course. He knows the intricacies of the course. He played really well. He's played it 3 or 4 times, but he played really well last year in 2021, basically. Played super well. He finished tied for 7th. Don't mind the wind here. Andrew Putnam is an amazing pick for this week at Waste Management Phoenix Open. Really good scores. He was in the hunt. It wasn't a backdoor top 7 when Brooks won last year. This was him being in the mix for a good part of Sunday. Keep an eye on Andrew Putnam. We know greens putting is going to be a huge aspect of this week, according to what Streelman told me. While your guy, Andrew Putnam, is up there with putting as well. You have to take him seriously for this week. The other guy, as I look through my list here, James Hahn is also a local. Keep an eye on him. He played really well here last year. He lives, I was over at his house. He's about, I think, a half a mile from the course. Tied for 10th last year. That was a good finish. He was not backdooring anything there. He was really a part of that Sunday finish when Brooks won. So keep an eye on James Hahn. It is a tough one. His perspective was when you have a home game, there's a lot of distractions. So keep an eye on that. There's so many people pulling you different ways. Remember, he was the 36-hole leader a couple years ago and just kind of had a tough weekend there. So you just never know. When you're playing at home, family obligations, I mean, come on, we can all relate to that kind of stuff. There's a lot of moving parts. So keep an eye on James Hahn. The other guy I want to tell you about, I'm really bullish about this. Denny McCarthy, okay? I texted him a couple weeks ago and I said, how hungry, Denny, are you for your first win? You know what he said? Straight up, very hungry. Okay? I mean, simple, right? But this is insight you're not going to find on websites, PGAtour.com, stories that you're going to read, golf.com. You're not going to find this kind of stuff when it comes to betting fantasy on a guy like Denny McCarthy. Great putter this week, as we talked about. Streelman alluded to, it's going to be a putting contest. He knows this course so well. Denny McCarthy led the PGA Tour in that stat. 2018, 2019. Unbelievable what he brings to the table with the short stick. This year, he's okay. Listen, putting can be finicky, but he's still in the top 30 in shots gained putting. I love his confidence. He was in the mix at Pebble Beach. He entered the final round at AT&T 4 shots back, and I asked him, what's the mindset? You know what he said? In a text, he said, I'm going for birdies early. I'm going after it. That's me on my mindset. Basically, if I'm in the hunt anytime this year, okay, at Pebble, it didn't quite work. You get a little funky stuff with the Poana. I understand that. But at this course where the greens are immaculate, according to players, locals who are there, that will play really well for Denny McCarthy. He's such a good value this week on DraftKings. You have to have Denny in your lineup. So much strength there. So anyways, want to give you guys some insight here on the Phoenix Open. As I said, fringe players, guys that maybe you wouldn't be reading about on CBSSports.com, on some of the main sites. But I'm going to give you the insight here on these players. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll catch up soon.